What is happening, everybody? This week, I am going to be sitting down and talking with Casey, who is a family member of mine, and we are going to be discussing one of her favorite games, Slime Rancher, which I have very mixed feelings about, and I apologize in advance to anybody who loves this game. So, how you doing, Casey?
Good. How are you?
I'm tired, but I'm happy. I'm good. I'm good.
Fair enough.
Big changes afoot. So, you are the one who recommended Slime Rancher to me, and to anybody who has listened to this show in the past and understands the format, I generally like to start with, how did we find the game? What got this game in front of us, and how did we start playing it? So let's start with you. How were you introduced to this game?
So it was actually quite a long time ago. I want to say like over 5 years ago now. I had one friend who was like, "Hey, you would like this game," but I wasn't as into my video gaming days yet because I didn't have my own console. So I just kind of like pushed it off to the wayside. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like maybe I'll get to it when I get to it. And then I got like a few years later, I was able to get my own console. So exciting. And then my other best friend was like, "Hey, you would really like this game." And I was like, "It's so funny you say that. It's been suggested to me before." So I was like, "All right, screw it. Let's like dive straight in for it." So I downloaded it and yeah, just kind of fell in love with it.
Were you like a very quick to kind of like, did this game kind of sink its teeth into you very fast, or was it kind of a slow burn to get started?
It was, I want to say a mix of both. So I fell in love with how like adorable it is because I'm a sucker for that. And I do like open world games. I like when you can just kind of run around, do your own thing, and you're not like tied down in sorts of ways.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit of a slow burn, like the first like couple days, because I was like, okay, I think this is what I need to do. Let's just follow the tutorial. And like I was asking my best friend who recommended it, I was like, "Hey, I'm having a hard time with this. Like, what should I do?" And she was like, "Oh, but," and she would like vomit words and be like, "This is how you should do this." And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that makes it easier.
I was gonna ask you right there. You mentioned, oh, I'm just gonna do this tutorial. What fucking tutorial?
So like when you
That-
first get into the game, it tells like you start with your first corral and then you get a lay of your farm. You're like, "Oh, so this is like what this button does." So like you start with your first corral and when you click the button, you're like, "Oh, so these are the upgrades that I can do. I wonder why I'm gonna need these." And
yeah.
then you run around to like you try to go to a different portion of your farm and you're like, "Oh, I can't get in here yet. It's locked." Okay. And then it it
It
does
just
tell
it
you in
just
the
grows.
beginning. Yeah, but like they do kind of tell you in the beginning, like, okay, like this is how you use your backpack, and like this is how you collect slimes, and the really simple tutorial.
Yeah, the basic like controls of the game.
Yeah.
I only say that because like, so for me getting into this game, like the way I discovered it was actually before you told me about it, or before you requested me to play it for an episode of this show. Which, by the way, if it was not to do an episode with you, I probably would not have played this game. I love cozy games. I love farming sim games. I don't know. A few years ago, a friend of a friend, I saw him playing it on Discord, and I was like, "Oh shit! Like that seems kind of neat. Where are you playing it?" And he says, "Oh, it's on Game Pass." So I go on to Game Pass. I think I was playing on my Xbox. We're probably going back like 4 or 5 years ago, and I tried it for all of about maybe an hour. And
Okay.
for reasons that we'll get into in a little bit, I just it did not hook me. Um,
Right.
but then, years later now you asked me to do this for the show, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, I remember trying it. I don't remember why I wasn't a huge fan, but let's do it. So with that being said, we can move on into, what do we not really love about this game? So I know you're a huge fan of it, and I can see why. It is definitely an adorable game, and we'll definitely talk more about that as we discuss the game. But what do you not like about it? Anything?
Uh, it is a little difficult. You actually kind of brought this up the other day. Kind of like lack of certain structures.
Yeah.
So like you get your slime materials and stuff, which give you your like apiary, um, and your other two things I'm blanking on, but whatever. And it doesn't tell you like how many times you should use the apiary before you get your upgraded one. Or like it feels like some things just kind of jump at you where it's like, oh, I guess
Yeah.
I've done this enough times and I get an upgrade, you know?
Yeah, that's one major issue that I had with this game. And like, I study game design, I have a degree in it, and I don't use that really because like as a way to give myself credit, but I like to study games for their design. I like to study the way that things are laid out. I don't work in the industry, so I am by no means a professional. But this game lacked so many design elements that would progress a player forward in a meaningful way. So if it wasn't for some of the areas by your farm or by your ranch not being accessible, I would be completely lost. Because the game kind of in the beginning, it funnels you directly in one direction. It kind of says just figure it out. But yeah, like you mentioned, there is no real structure. There are basically zero progress trackers. So like I remember thinking kind of like what you said, like, how do I get this next item or how do I get this next upgrade or whatever? And I had to Google it and it was basically saying like, oh, you just have to I remember it was how do I unlock the ability to unlock those capsules you find? There's different level ones.
Oh yeah, the yeah, with the crackers.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, you just need to create a certain amount of machines in the shop. And I'm like, okay, well, how the fuck do I get to the shop or like the lab or whatever? I'm like, so there was tiers, there was levels to this, and I'm like, I don't know where to start with even getting there. So, but then yeah, it's like once you actually get the lab unlocked and you're able to start crafting machines and stuff, which I think comes way too late in the game, personally, but if you play it that way. But then it's like, yeah, then you make like 10 machines or whatever, and you can start going out and unlocking the simple chests, I'll just call them. But then there's different level ones.
Treasure pods. That's what they're called, treasure pods.
Treasure pods, yeah. So I'm like, how do I unlock the higher level ones? And Google basically told me, it's like, oh, you need to make 50 machines before you can unlock this next level. You need to make 100 machines before you can unlock this next level. I'm like, I don't know that. There's no way for me to know that.
It's so funny because I never paid any mind to that. I just kept grinding out the game. I was like, let me just keep doing what I've been doing. I never thought to look up like, oh, how do I get this? I just kept grinding and doing the same thing I was always doing.
Yeah. Maybe that's something to be said for like our two play styles. So like
Yeah.
I'm definitely one who prefers like a checklist, like structured checklist. Like Stardew Valley is my drug, right? I love that game. And that game has progress trackers for just about everything.
That's true. I tried playing that game and it gets to be a little overwhelming for me in that one.
Yeah, that one. You and I should talk about that one a different day. But yeah, like that game kind of tells you in some ways, like, okay, like granted, I lived on the wiki for that, so there was a lot of things that the game itself maybe doesn't tell you. But like, let's say in the Adventurers Guild, right? You go in there and you're like, okay, well, it wants me to kill a certain number of enemies. And I generally know where I can find these enemies, so I'm just going to grind that out for a few days and kill those enemies, get the reward. Like that's kind of what helped me just keep going. And then you get better items, better weapons, allows you to do better things, go better places, blah blah blah. This game had none of that, and I wasn't one to just like aimlessly waste materials on something, materials that, by the way, I had no idea how to get. Because I wasn't sure how to even okay, do I make these apiaries and make these machines? Oh, they get me the materials? When was somebody going to tell me that?
Right.
But I got a half a dozen dislikes written in front of me here. Are there any more that kind of jump out at you?
For me, no. And I think that just like you said goes back to like our play style. I'm more of a let me just keep doing what I've been doing and see if it gets me somewhere. Like it takes a long time for me to be like, all right, why am I not getting anywhere? You
Yeah.
know, like I'll just grind and grind the same thing I've been doing and then be like, oh, okay, cool. So that's how I get that. All right, let's do that one now.
Okay. Yeah. Now that's. I think this game is definitely more geared towards that play style of
Yeah.
just I don't know. I don't want to call it chaotic. To me, it's chaotic. I don't like. I can't just do that. Like I need to see a light at the end of the tunnel. I need to have a purpose or a goal. And like so, I would make myself like short term goals when playing this game. Like and I will say that one what is it, the Star Mail
Hmm.
shit, or is that the one where you pay money and you get rewards and stuff?
Yeah, your 7Z
Yeah.
rewards.
Yeah. So that one, like that kept me going because that gave me a breadcrumb trail to follow. Because when I would run around the map and hit locked doors, and I had no idea how to get keys or where to find those Largos or anything like that. Um,
Mm.
like that is what gave me a purpose to keep going. Is like, okay, just keep grinding out the ranch, keep getting money. Maybe you could buy the next area, you could buy the next upgrade, whatever. But yeah, I this game had like a horrible lack of structure, and it was fucking trash for my OCD.
I'll be honest, I did have to look up sometimes where the what are they, the Largos or the
Yeah.
Gordos?
Oh wait.
The big guys you had to feed like 50 of something or 25 of their favorite things, and then that's how you got your keys and everything. I was
Yeah, I think
confused
it's
what
the
they're
the
called.
Gordo. Yeah, I think
The
you're
Gordos.
right.
I did
Yeah.
have to look up because I would be running through the map and I'd be like, oh, that's where he is. Well, I don't have enough things to feed him. So then I continue on and then I'll like go back to my ranch and I'll grab like the fruit or the veggies that I need. And I'm like, wait, shit, where was he? And I would go to Google and be like, ah, that's where he is.
I literally have written here word for word in my dislikes is having to find the giant slimes and then remember where they are so you can go get the appropriate supplies. Like
I would say the two hardest Gordos for me to find were the Boom one and the Hunter one.
the boom one was in the quantum, like the kind of like the area by where the teleporter is to the
Yeah.
glass desert,
Yep.
but you had to like unlock a wall to get to it.
Yeah, but you had to like make your way underneath, like on
Yeah.
like to like the bottom level of rocks or flooring or whatever. And
Yeah.
then you had to find which of those turny things you had to click to open the wall. And then you had to like go around and then you had to go around again just to
Yeah.
see him.
It's kind of nice that you can see it from the outside, so you can be like, oh, okay, I see the Gordo there, I know that it's this type, I know that thing's favorite type of food is this, so let me just go back and get all the stuff
Yep.
before I go back. Because this game, I mean, one feature that I do kind of like is that each different slime has a favorite food type. And
Yes.
whether it be meat, which is just generally chickens or whatever, so I think some have like a preferred type of chicken,
Yes.
but for the most part, it's like, okay, it could be either be like just fruit or just meat, or it could be like a specific fruit or a specific meat. And I like that. So like, and there's an in-game wiki pretty much that you can refer to get that information.
Yeah.
And if you,
Yeah.
yeah,
So like your
if you,
tabbies, like the stony hens, and then like your hunters, I think like the briars. Oh no, they hunters like the roostros,
yeah.
so on and
And it's kind of nice that like if you do decide to feed it, like you can feed them whatever kind of meat. That's just the one that they prefer. So if you decide to use the one that they prefer, you have to you get to feed it fewer.
yep.
So like if
It's
you wanted,
literally cut in half.
yeah, like if you wanted to feed a hunter just a regular chicken, you'd have to feed it like what, 40 or 50.
50.
Okay, but if you decide to feed it its favorite food, it's 25. So it just makes it a lot easier if you actually like know what each one wants.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
But yeah, like it is also nice that when you do find the Gordo, if you actually like get in front of it and whatever, like it does show up on your map.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah,
definitely
that's a
a
nice
quality of
feature.
life bonus. The only other thing that I wrote, well, so I wrote pretty much the same thing 3 times, saying that there's no real direction or objectives, there's no real hints or tutorials on how to progress, and there's no trackers to indicate which will occur next. But we already covered all that. This game was absolutely horrendous for my OCD in the beginning because I like farm games. When you plow a plot, you sow your seed, you let it sit there, and it doesn't move.
Yeah.
If I had to text you and be like, Casey, what the hell? And you were like, look at the upgrades for the corral and get the roof. I was like, I'm just going to take your word for this because I'm blind and I'm totally missed that. But
Yeah.
that saved this game. I would have probably just turned it off and never touched it. That's probably why I turned it off 4 years ago.
Fair enough. No, absolutely fair enough. So, kind of getting into a story here if we're at this part. So I've actually played this game at least 3 to 4 times.
You're
like,
sick.
Pretty much all the way through. So the reason I bring the story up initially is because you said them going all over the place, your OCD, wanting to put everything where it just belongs. The first time I was playing through, I had the same problem. And I was like, what do I do? I was like, okay, at least I can keep them in the corral, but this isn't how I want my farm to be set up. And like, I kid you not, I rearranged my farm the first time I played through at least 3 times. Like, my boyfriend
God.
sitting next to me, he would look over and be like, rearranging your farm again? And I'm like, yes.
That's so
and
much
like throwing,
work.
Yeah, it really is, especially when you get them to be bigger. Because at least when they're just themselves normal size, you can just vac them up. But once you merge them with something else, they're bigger and you can't vac them up. So then you're moving them one by one, by one, by one. So yeah, the first time through, I was the same way.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hope
I'll get into
God,
why I've played the game more times when we get to that point.
Yeah, please, because I'm gonna need you to justify this. Maybe sway my opinion on it. Because right now, oh boy, I do not plan on touching the sequel. But like with this game, so
no,
okay.
Actually, I more suggest the sequel for you, but we'll talk about that near the end.
Okay. So yeah, you mentioned like how when you combine certain slimes, or when you combine any slime with any plort, because when you feed a slime, they drop these little crystals. They're called plorts, and you can use them to sell them, or you can use them to combine with other small slimes of different breeds and create hybrids. That hybrid is then called the Largo, I believe, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I pray to God you did not make the same mistake I did of making quantum crystal Largos.
I don't think I did. No.
Don't. Just fucking don't. Because, okay, the quantum ones are cool, and the plorts that they produce can typically sell for a lot. Or, you know, like a decent amount in the beginning. But, and they're one of the last slime breeds that you're going to find in the first area anyway.
Yeah, in the first half of the map.
Yeah, but like I made the mistake of making the quantum crystal ones, and what they like to do is phase out of their corral and then create crystals that hurt you all over the fucking place. And then when you try to vac them up to put them back in their corral, and you go to like let it go back in its corral, it says, "Ha, psych, I wasn't real," and then it just disappears. So like you're trying to wrangle the thing down. I ended up trying to incinerate most of them, but even then, when you try to do that, it just goes, "Psych, I'm not real," and then it like disappears. So I just gave up. I was like, okay, that whole corner of my cave on my ranch is just uninhabitable. Like nothing can go there because I couldn't get rid of them.
I always put my quantums in like the furthest corner, like whichever if I decide to put them in the field or the cave, I always put them in like the furthest corner. But as long as you keep them happy, then they don't like actually get out of the corral. It's just like you said, it's the fake ones. But
How
when
do
they're
you
angry, they'll phase out of the corral.
how do you make them happy? Because like well,
Feed
okay,
them.
so yes, but how do you get them to go back to eat the food once they've gotten upset? Is what I'm saying. It's like you can't track it down to put it back to give it food. I guess if I fed it and then put it back, maybe that would work. But holy shit, that was a fight. Like
Yeah.
that. Oh boy. So don't make those. And don't make
Funny
quantum
enough,
hunters.
quantum hunters. Yeah. I usually combine like my, well, not usually because I've done it all different ways. But one of my favorites was combining my rock and my crystals.
That makes
Excuse
sense.
me. Because they just like to hurt you. So if you just combine them and put them in the same corral, then you just don't really have to worry about getting hurt too much.
Yeah.
The only downside to doing that is like the rock, they have a favorite vegetable, which is heartbeat. And then same thing with the crystal is the veggies with the odd onions.
Yeah.
I don't like combining a veggie with a veggie or a fruit with a fruit because I don't like to feed them the meat. I feel so bad for the chickens. So I'll collect all my meat ones, and I've sat here with a notebook and figured out every possibility that I prefer and that I like, where I'll combine a meat with a veggie or a meat with a fruit. So that way I only have to feed them the fruit or the veggie.
See that is dedication right there. I like that.
when I have OCD as well. So
I don't like feeding them the chickens either, really. Not because I feel bad for the chickens, really, but it's because the chickens are just so much harder to come by. Like once you unlock what is it called, the grotto or something like that.
mhm.
Once you unlock that, there's actually a few places there where an abundance of chickens spawn, but still not really enough to satisfy the needs of any slime type.
Well, that's where your chicken corral comes into play, and that's where doing those like how do you want to word it? Helping the extra people out comes into play and comes in handy as well. Because I think it's Moki Miles. If her portal, if you like go into your cave section, like before you actually get into the cave, her
Yeah.
portal is right there to travel to her spot. And if you do her mini games, you could say, she gives you chicken corral upgrades. And
I thought it
like
was
for me, it
Bob.
actually, what was that?
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Sorry.
Bob just likes to eat the chickens. He's actually three slimes in a trench coat, if you didn't notice.
Sorry to cut you off, though. What were you saying about Mochi Miles?
No, that's fine. If you go and do her mini games, she gives you chicken corral upgrades, and it actually got to a point with me because I didn't feed them to any of my slimes where my chickens got out of control
Oh my
because
God.
there's an upgrade that she gives you that will suck up the elder ones. There's
Oh,
another one that gives you, it's like you see the little is it the one with the little bugs? Either way, that helps them grow faster. So like if you put your chickens in there, it'll help them grow faster. But yeah, that's where doing Moki Miles' mini games come for helping with that.
oh, okay, yeah. So I did minimal extracurricular activities in this game.
Oh, okay.
I saw. So okay. So on your ranch there is like a phone, and there's these little side quests that you can get. They're basically just fetch quests. Um, they absolutely suck to do in the beginning
Yes.
because they want you to do, like, sometimes they want you to get some crazy shit and you're like, okay, I have to get 8 crystal slimes, which requires me to either teleport if you have gotten that far, or run like all the way across the map to find this teleporter that's on a beach that'll take me over to this island to go in and try to find 8 crystal slimes to then go run all the way back. And you got like 20 minutes, and that's 1/4 of all the shit you need to do. So like I avoided all of those side quests for the first 2/3 of this game. And it wasn't
Yeah.
until you told me how doing them will actually unlock the ability to then get those further mini games, which will lead you to more shit. That, like, every time you texted me something that was like, oh yeah, no, you can get this incredible upgrade, you just have to do this and then this and then this and then this, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like,
Yeah, I hated doing the phone quest in the beginning as well, but if you can just get through it, if you can just grind it out, get through it, then once you unlock those other places, you don't even have to touch the phone again.
yeah, because you really only have to do it like what, once per special person, like once or
That
twice,
I
or something
don't
like that.
remember. Yeah, I think it's like a couple times.
I wouldn't know because there's no tracker. There is literally no way to track any progress in this game.
Yeah. You just
It's
kind of have to do it and then hope for the best.
yeah, like it is definitely a game that is designed for people who just simply enjoy the cozy aspect of it. Because yeah, this game doesn't put you on a timer, you know. So
Yeah.
like I like the structure, even though it's a little bit stressful. I like the structure of games like Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons or Stardew Valley, where there is a calendar system. You know, you got to get this done by this date. You got to plant your crops. It takes this many days for this to grow. That doesn't exist in Slime Rancher. It is very chill, but
Yeah, but there is also nothing that you have to do that doesn't go anywhere. So like everything you do does lead to something. It's not like you're doing something just for shits and giggles either.
yeah, yeah, and that's where I'm saying, like, me and my play style, like we said before, I wouldn't spend the time repeatedly doing something if I don't like it right away. I'm not going to continue to do it because you know, I don't know if it's going to lead to something. Like if I know or have any inkling that it's going to lead to something better, I will do it. I will fight my way through it. I will suffer, and then I will get that reward and never do it again. But this game, I very much kept being like, I don't like this activity. I don't know why I would do this, so I'm not going to do this. And then it ended up making me struggle even more unknowingly.
Right.
So that's my piece. But
no, and that's valid.
What do we actually like about this game, though? Because I think I'm done shitting on
it. As we've said multiple times, the coziness of it.
Yeah.
If you like grindy games, then it's a good game to just grind. Like if you're like me and you just grind it out and you don't care if there's a structure to it, then as long as you know everything you do has a meaning, then yeah. What is something else I really like? I like the 7Z rewards, but I feel like they just cost a little too much money for when you want to get the reward. That's the only gripe with it.
They definitely do have a price hike. Mm-hmm. I feel like those rewards kind of hit a point where they sort of expect you to have reached a point where now you're getting gold plorts.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if you don't have like a fully functional farm with automation or ranch with automation, you're not going to have that kind of money.
Yeah, but otherwise, I really like the grades because I love being able to change the aesthetic of things, and that's one of the main things you get from doing your rewards is you get all the different colors that you can change around your farm for your vac. I love all the customization.
Yeah, no, and they definitely did a good job with like all the different things that you can customize. Like I personally don't care to choose colors for things or choose grass types or like decorate much. So like all of those decorations that you find from opening up the treasures and whatever, like I didn't really care. Like I just put them all in the decoration machine and was like, all right, they're just going to be there. But it like I very much enjoyed in the beginning when all of a sudden you spend the money and you get like an upgraded walkway or an upgraded archway or like what I like that. Like if they did more with that, like obviously I didn't see the end of the 7Z rewards, but like if it got really polished and had like nice smooth stone and like it made it really pretty, I would love that.
I believe the end of the 7Z rewards is a 3-tier gold slime statue.
Oh my god.
It's pretty cute.
That's cool. And speaking of cute, like I will say, one of my likes for this game is the general style of it. The
Hmm.
slimes are adorable.
Oh, and the noises that they make too. Oh, so cute. And then the tabbies even meow. Like, I love it.
Oh, really? I actually played this game on mute.
Really? Yeah. So if you're running around like the regular slimes, like the pink slimes, they make like a sound. It's so cute. The tabbies actually meow. They're like um the rest of them, I mean, they're just normal noises for the rest of them. But I just think running around and you just hear I love it.
My ranch probably sounds more like, wartime Vietnam because I had a lot of boom plorts. Uh, the no, the art style of this is cool. The all the slimes are adorable, and I don't know. I generally do like the way that this map was stylized and everything like that. Visually, it's very pleasing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will admit I played this game largely on mute, not because I didn't like the sounds or the music or anything like that, but because I used this game. I try to kill two birds with one stone and be efficient as much as possible. So I was watching a lot of school lectures and stuff at the time when I was playing this. So I was just, you know, listening
Yeah.
and watching those while casually playing this game.
Right.
So, but yeah,
And
it's cool.
yeah. It is a great game that you could do that with the multitasking. If you have to do something else and pay attention to something else, but you need to put your brain in a couple places because you can't just sit in one spot. It's a great game to play on mute.
Yeah, for sure. It's yeah, as long as you're not doing anything in this game that like puts you on a timer, which I think the only things in this game that does is like some of the side quests and or like some of those mini games and then like the phone missions. Like that's it. Those are the only things that put you in any kind of stressful situation of being on a timer. Other than that, it's a very chill game. You just take it at your own pace and avoid the tar slimes.
Oh, there is one thing I find a little unnecessary in the game. Like, not that I like or dislike it. Like, it's just neutral. I just don't see a reason for it. Is the pulse wave?
The pulse wave? Is that the
Yeah.
in the glass desert? No.
No. So that's one of like your upgrades you can put on your backpack. So like, if you upgrade your backpack, you get like more slots. You can put more in each slot, and then you get your water tank. And then one of those upgrades you can also get is a pulse wave, where you
Oh.
would use it if you just want to push a slime away from you. But personally, if you just keep your water tank filled, it does the same thing. And it gets rid of the tar.
Yeah, I never used the pulse wave.
Yeah, neither do I.
It was like, in what scenario are you going to really need it?
I guess if you're not good at keeping water in your water tank, you can use it because without water, you can't push a slime or a tar away from you. But if you just keep up on your water, then you don't really need to use your pulse wave.
And you can get water anywhere, like literally any
Yeah.
location that has more than two slime types typically has some sort of geyser or pond or something. So the way that a
Yep.
tar is created, would you care to explain?
So you have your normal slimes, which are the small ones you can back up super easy. Then you can combine slimes, which is two slimes. So like we were mentioning earlier, like your rock crystals or your quantum crystals that you were talking about.
Yeah.
And then if you happen to have a third type of plort and that Largo eats the third type of plort, that's when you get a tar, and they're very mean. And it even says when you look them up that their favorite meal is ranchers.
Yeah. So I didn't know they will eat everything. They'll eat your
Yes.
largos, they'll eat your slimes, they'll eat all your food, they'll eat you, they'll eat everything. I did not know that when I first encountered one. So I, like probably many people, may have brought it back to my ranch to try to house it.
Oh.
Well, that was a bad fucking idea. I had to go find a couple more slime types after that.
Yeah.
And they grow, they expand, they duplicate, they wreak havoc if not taken
Yeah,
care of
if
right
you
away.
look in your little slimeology thing, it says the tar seek only to consume and replicate. And
Yep.
honestly, it makes me feel so bad for the other slimes when they start trying to consume them because you can see like it's tar. So they like shoot out these little like arms or whatever that are tar like and they grab the slime. And the slime it's trying to eat gets the most terrified look on its face. It's so sad.
There have been times when like if I'm going through the mossy area, which I can't remember what it's called.
The moss blanket.
Thank you. So if I'm going through there are multiple types of slimes native to that area. So you got like your honey slimes, you have your hunters, you also have your tabbies, and they'll all be coexisting in one area. Well, when you have more than two slimes or slime types in any given area, that's when it is just a right breeding ground for tars. And so I found that sometimes like if those areas were just getting overrun with multiple different types of slimes, I would just let the tar do its thing, clear out the area, and then I could go on with what I want to do. Like if I was going into the moss blanket and I had some, aviaries or miners or whatever, like all around, I would just let the tar do its thing, clear it out, and then I would kill the tar and then get all my shit and leave.
Yeah. No, I've done that too.
It's helpful to sacrifice. You feel kind of bad, yeah, but at the same time, it's like I don't feel like running around and having a hunter Largo, trying to attack me while I'm trying to get all my crap.
It's so funny you say the word running around in their slimeology. I obviously have the game up in front of me for reference points. In their slimeology, it literally says, alternatively, many ranchers recommend running away with their arms waving and screaming.
I did also make a hunter tabby, which is a horrible idea.
Really?
Yeah, they just go straight feral.
But aren't they happy when you feed them?
Sure. Still try to eat you.
Huh.
I could not
I
produce
don't
enough
think
food
I've
to
ever
keep
really
them happy.
combined them.
It's they're just mad all the time. Just all the time. So yeah, I mean, to move on to like other things, I guess I like about the game. I will say the gameplay itself is very smooth, very fluid. It's very satisfying to play. The movement, the platforming when need be. If you know what you're doing and you're good, like I found you could kind of platform your way around any locked door.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, so like the gameplay is just very smooth. I do like the fact that you can just vacuum things up. It works very well. Vacuuming up, spitting things out that you don't need, whatever. It's a solid playing game.
I agree. I honestly have no other points to that. I think you worded that extremely well.
Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, I'll say the four things I have written down here, and it's not because there's only four things I like about the game, but it's four things that I could think of to write down about the game. The gameplay is smooth and fluid. I like the fact that you can combine the slimes. I think that that's a great system that we have touched on more than enough in this so far. And I like the biomes. I like the different areas you can go, the different types of areas that kind of harvest different slimes and whatnot. And I like the story.
That's where I lack. Like, I agree with you, but I tend to lack on reading things, to put it simply. So, like, when I play through it, I don't even read my star mail at all. Like,
Yeah,
I know
I
that
stopped
you
reading
go
that
to
pretty
a
early on.
ranch. I know you go to a ranch and you're like, you said bye to your friends, and your friend Casey, which, hello, sends you mail. And it's like, oh, we miss you, blah, blah, blah. But other than that, I don't follow like any deep plot line.
Yeah, I like that there was kind of an A and a B plot line. So when you requested that I play this game, you did it specifically with the request that I pay attention to the story,
Yes.
and so that we can we can discuss it. So I did not read everything. I kind of skimmed most of it, but I did recap it
Mhm.
later, like after I was done with it. And this, so you have your A and your B plot, kind of. You have Casey and you have Hobson. So Casey is your friend from back on Earth, whether it be your friend or your former partner or whatever you want to call it. So they're back on Earth and they decided that they want to stay on Earth. They're not really the adventurous type. They have, they have roots. And then you have Hobson. Now, Hobson is the guy who inhabited the same ranch that you are now in charge of. And as you travel around the far, far range, which is the planet that you're on, you find all these different info nodes, these little holographic nodes scattered all over the place that are messages from Hobson.
Mhm.
And as you progress around the map, you will just find them in random locations. Like if you find this cool little, hidden nook, chances are there's going to be a Hobson thing there talking about how he enjoyed the beauty of the area and whatnot. So if you think about it, if you read both of their stories to the end, they both have like the dichotomy of your personality or your life as Beatrix. Like Casey is, think of it like the angel and devil on your shoulder, right? But
Mhm.
not that morbid. So you have Casey, who is your homely, not really craving adventure, wants to, dig their roots into where they're living on Earth and enjoy life as it comes at them and whatnot. And then you have Hobson, who can't be nailed down. He wants to explore. He wants to, see the universe and follow his heart and do all these things. And it very much kind of makes you think introspectively about yourself as the player, but also your character and who you are as the character, because clearly you had some sort of relationship with Casey, who was this personality type, but something inside you as the character just didn't sit right. You needed more from life. So now you are exploring this new vast world and following all of the things that Hobson seemingly had the same feelings about, and you're reading their perspective. So it's kind of painting, like as you receive the emails from Casey and as you explore and find the new nodes from Hobson, you're kind of torn back and forth between the two people, I feel like, but you're also growing and learning each of their stories. And then eventually at the end of the game, spoilers, you end up receiving email messages or star mail messages from Casey that basically say, hey, I found someone, I'm happy. I really hope that you find what you're looking for out there. And as you progress, then you find messages in the end from Hobson that say, I've finally found, what I've been looking for, and I'm going to follow my heart and go on with my adventure. So it's very it's very emotional, the story of
Yeah.
this game, and it gets pieced together not through cutscenes, not through audiobooks or anything like that, but through these messages that one type of message you will consistently receive, and then the other type of message you have to actively search for, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, me too. I feel like that plays into the bigger picture that he was so adventurous. So now you have to find your adventurous side to find his story, which I find that pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a neat way to. I think the way that they did it from a game design perspective was really great, because if you go this entire game without reading any messages from Casey, you will have a completely different perspective on the story of this character.
Yeah.
Same thing with if you just completely avoid reading all the messages from Hobson. Now, this is under the assumption that you read all of one and none of the other. Like you would have a totally different take on this game and this character and this story, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, I didn't think about that because obviously the first time I played through, I did read all of it. I don't comprehend it in like any sort of way, but like I
Yeah.
read through all of them, and I had never thought about just like if you were to only read one and not the other.
Yeah, I didn't really think much of it when I played it. Like I said, I did look up recaps and kind of some retrospectives. And actually, of all things, I also had ChatGPT kind of give me a breakdown of each character's, you know, timeline, and
Oh, okay.
that was a pretty cool way to get a comprehensive list of the timeline of events from each message from each character. So it, you know, I tried to do my research, and that definitely opened my eyes to what this game had in store.
Hmm.
But that's really that's the most that's the most I can think of for what I don't like and what I do like. Do you have any further thoughts on this game that you think we didn't touch on?
When it comes to likes and dislikes, not really. One thing I do really like is the Slimepedia. I found it extremely helpful, especially my first time playing through. Because like if you go to pause the game, then you can bring up your Slimepedia, and it breaks it down. Tutorials. Funny enough, because we were talking about tutorials earlier. Slimes, then resources, ranch, world, and slime science.
Wait,
I
you can
like
do
that
it from
they
the
put it
pause
all
menu?
in one place.
You
Yeah,
can do it from the
usually
pause
if
menu?
you
I didn't know that.
usually if you hit pause, you get like resume, Slimepedia, achievements, options, emergency return, and save and quit.
I swear to God, I was blind through this playthrough. Like, I'm sure, knowing how much I missed, this game probably did give me like a full comprehensive tutorial about how to get everything, and I just completely fucking missed it. So oh well, because
It
I
gives
always
you
kept running
tutorials
back.
as you play through.
What's that?
It gives you like tutorials like as you play through. It's not like all in one shot.
Yeah, no, it definitely does kind of like, touch base with you. Maybe there was some box I checked that said turn off tutorials and I didn't realize it. But there were certain times when it kind of like pops up and says like, hey, here's a fact. Um,
Yeah. But yeah,
I will say,
honestly, the Slimepedia was a lifesaver because it was all in one comprehensive spot. And like
yeah,
you go to slimes and it's pink slime. What's their diet? What's their favorite? What's their slimeology, rancher risks? And I liked that it was all in one comprehensive spot where like if I just had a blonde moment and forgot, like I was just like, Slimepedia, tell me.
yeah. No, that was definitely a nice thing to have. I mean, I just kept running back to the ranch to read it, but it was definitely a good thing to have because it kind of keeps you from having to make a trip to the wiki. Um,
Yeah.
though that is nice. I will say too, you mentioned to me that there was some way that you could house those fire slimes.
Oh yeah, you get the ash trough. So you have all your slimes that you keep in corrals, but there's two that don't go into corrals. There's your puddle slimes. You
Yeah.
can buy a little like pond, but be careful with that. So puddle slimes are shy, and usually you can only keep up to like four together. Otherwise,
Yeah.
they won't make floor. And then when it comes to your fire slimes, you have to buy the incinerator and get the ash trough upgrade for it. And then you just like when you get to a point in the game where like your carrots and your pogo fruits are useless to you for pretty much any other means, you just start incinerating what you don't need, like your carrots and pogos, and that fills the ash trough, and the fire slimes eat the ash out of the trough, and that's how they give you plorts.
So you just put the fire slimes on the ash and that's it?
Yeah, because so when you get the incinerator first, there's no trough underneath. There's like it's basically just a tall, skinny thing of fire. And then you get the ash trough upgrade, and it has four walls and everything. And then when you incinerate your
Oh.
things, it creates ash, and you just put the fire slimes on the ash. Sometimes they like to escape because it's not tall walls, but as long as you can figure it out how to keep them in there.
I don't know if I could. That's putting a lot of hope in me, but yeah. But all right, yeah, no, because that's one thing I remember hearing from you, and I incinerated a few of them because I didn't understand how it works.
If you go into the achievements, there's one where it wants you to throw. I don't remember if it's a regular chicken or if it's a baby chick, but if you incinerate, it's an elder chicken. If you incinerate an elder chicken, it'll bring up an achievement where it's like, how could you, or whatever.
That's cremation. It's time. But all right. I mean, I've said everything I wanted to say. How about yourself?
I mean, for the most part. So this game got its hold on me in a very sad way. So as I mentioned, I've played this game at least 3 or 4 times. The first time I played, I was playing on my boyfriend's PS4 because he had just gotten his PS5. So now I was able to use his PS4. So I download the game, I'm playing it. I get all the way through. Spoilers, I get to after all the star mail, it gives you your credits, and then Hobson opens up his secret spots, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And you go into them, and you can get a crap load of gold plorts from going into them. That's your reward from Hobson. And there's 3 of them, I believe. So I did the first one, sold them all, great. Second one, sold them all, great. Third one, got all my gold plorts. I run back to my farm, and I'm selling. The last gold plort makes its way into the market, and my game crashed.
Oh my
God. Completely crashed. And I was like, what's going on? So I completely closed out the game, restarted the PlayStation, went back into the game, and I lost everything. I had no game.
How the hell?
I have no idea. It is the only time I have ever experienced that problem. It could have been the PlayStation that had a problem for all I know, because I mean, it was kind of on its last legs. We only use it now for watching TV at night, you know? So I lost everything, my whole game. I sat there in silence for at least 5 minutes. I was like, I had no words.
I don't blame you. I would have fucking cried.
Yeah. So I was like, I just did all of that. I lost everything. So fast forward, I was like, I put my controller down and I went to bed for the night. I shit you not. I got up and went to bed. So fast forward, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll play this game again. You know, I don't like, I'm like a partial completionist.
Yeah.
So I pulled out my Switch and I was like, all right, let's just do it again. I'm at a point where I'm not mad about it anymore. Let's just play it again. So I pull out my Switch, and it's called on the Switch, it's called the Plortable edition, you know, like portable, plortable.
That's funny.
So I was like, all right, so download it. I played it all the way through, didn't have any issues, was so thankful. And then I just kind of sat around for a while, didn't want to play it again. And then back when I mentioned I was finally able to get my own console, my PlayStation 5, I was like, kind of getting the itch again. So then I played it through for a third time. So now I had completed the game on 3 separate consoles.
Oh my God. Hell yeah.
So now anytime I want to play, I do like a rush mode. The best advice I can give anybody is focus on your money in the beginning, because when you focus on your money, that's when you can satisfy your OCD and put your farm how you want it. Like, I personally have a 98% self-sustaining farm.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So if you combine all of your meat eaters with a fruit or a veg, and if you can do it strategically, not just like anyone, then you put your veggies in the grotto or the cave, whatever, and then you put the other one in the other side. Then you have these things called bee drones, and they'll do a lot of work for you. So you can have 2 bee drones in one area at a time. And then as you start doing the slime science and getting those materials and building the slime science stuff, you can get these teleporters, I guess you could call them, but not like teleporting yourself, but you can put your plort into either your market one or your slime science one without having to run all the way to the beginning of your farm or having to run all the way up to the lab. You just do it from right where you are. And then make sure one of the plots is a silo. And then I do my main portion as my farm. So like for specific fruits, for specific vegetables. And the 2% part of work that I have to do is taking the food from its plot and taking it over to the silo, which is in the area of the slimes, and then putting them where they're designated to go. And then you can set your bee drone to take the food from the silo and put it in its designated corral auto feeder. And then you can program your other bee drone to collect the plorts and put it either into your slime science one or your market one.
Hell yeah.
So so I actually have a 98% self-sustaining farm, and I think that's really cool because then you just run into the cave and it's just like, oh, here's your money. I'm like, cool, I didn't have to do anything.
That's sick. I would have never thought to do that. I was doing like all the work. I had a couple of bee drones in the very end, and I was like, I don't care to even figure out how to fucking use these things.
They are extremely helpful. One of my gripes with Slime Rancher 2 is that you don't have the bee drones.
Is there anything like it, or is it just nothing?
No, you don't have anything like it. But a perk in Slime Rancher 2, so as we were talking about your drill and your pump and your apiary, those are non-existent in Slime Rancher 2. When you run around, you can collect your materials.
Oh, that's way better.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, I think you actually might like Slime Rancher 2 a little bit more. Not a whole lot, but the little minor tweaks that they made.
If they could just give me progress trackers, that would make all the difference. Like if they could at least put something in that says, hey, you can unlock this ability, or hey, you can unlock this, mini game or something if you just do this. Like something, like give me some sort of mission list. I don't give a shit if it's like a Stardew Valley, town center mission board or something like that. Like give me something that points me in a direction and says go.
Yeah, no. They didn't put that in the second one either.
No, that's fine. I guess knowing what I know from the first one, I can translate it into the second one now and have a better experience. But
yeah. But doing those mini games though are extremely helpful. They give you extremely helpful upgrades. So if you do what's his name? Where you go and get the Kukadoba fruits.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. But if you do his mini game, which is collecting the Kukadoba fruit, which you do kind of have to set yourself a goal before you leave the area of like, oh, I'm going to collect 50 Kukadoba fruits before I want to leave the area, because sometimes it can be hard to find them. It gets frustrating.
Yeah, I like that one.
Those, yeah. But if you do those, then he gives you blanking. Give me one sec. Your garden, he gives you garden upgrades. So like he'll give you an upgrade that will make the tree or ground produce more fruit. He'll give you an upgrade that'll make it last longer without decaying.
I did get that. His minigame was the one that I played the most. I actually kind of enjoyed that one because it didn't put you on any kind of timer. I liked that one, and I liked the one with the with those like the Quicksilver.
The Monkey Miles one.
Yeah, where you have to shoot. Like I enjoyed that one because you could kind of just like stand in one place. Like you run. Like what I would do is make one lap around I'll call it a racetrack, and then I would find a place where they all kind of funnel together, and then I would just shoot groups of them, because what that mini game doesn't tell you, I believe, maybe it did and I missed it, is that all you have to do is shoot them, and then the plorts that they drop will auto collect.
Yes.
So you just have to stand there and shoot groups of the slimes coming at you, and then once you do that, you're set. So that one I found fairly easy, even though it's over in like 3 minutes. The one that I didn't like was the one that kind of put you. I mean, it wasn't bad, but the one that puts you in like the virtual reality.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, you know, it starts going insane in the end. But like the game really does not focus on timers, and it does not focus on rushing you. So in my opinion, the way that it felt for me was any situation where the game began to put a timer or a stressor on you like that did not feel right. It did not feel good. So like the one where you have to go and pick up the Kukudoba fruits, that one was fine because that was exploration based and it was casual and it was at your leisure. The other one, it was intentionally like a racetrack. You knew that it was going to be over in a few minutes because they say, hey, these things, you know, once you activate this bell or whatever, these things come out of hiding. They go crazy for a couple of minutes. You need to collect them as you can. And that's it. Then the other ones are just like straight timer based.
Yeah, I think they were trying to maybe appease like certain demographics for that one because like I didn't mind the change of pace once in a while, but once
Yeah.
I got the upgrades, I didn't go back and do any of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Now, is there only like one major upgrade? Because I know that like you would reach say your goal was 50, right? The problem, I wouldn't say it's a problem, but one thing about those mini games is that you have to do them a lot. And you can only do them once per day. It's not like you can just grind it out real quick and then be done with it. So there's one upgrade that you get for like giving the person like 50 or a small amount of whatever they're looking for, like enough that you could make it in one go. And then there's another one where you have to come back and do the same mini game like at least 5 times. Are there any other further upgrades past that, or is it just like those two?
So for each of the mini game guys, you'll get I don't remember if it's 2 or 3 upgrades per
Okay.
because one of the upgrades in itself is gaining access to their farm, which you can put more of anything on. It just they give you so much space to continue growing your farm that I find it a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because like I don't want to have to travel to this other world, you know, going to Moki Miles or whatever his name is, and then having to tend to my farm there when I just tended to my farm on my farm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the upgrades is getting access to them, and then each one of them will give you like 1 or 2 more upgrades.
Okay. Like I like that they could give you the upgrades. I did not realize that you could take advantage of a whole other farm or ranch space. Like cuz I agree. Like it's a lot to take care of your own ranch, you know, if you don't have it set up with a 98% efficiency rate. But I also was not like a huge fan of how spaced out all of the plots on, or like all of the biomes of your own ranch are. Like it's kind of cool that, you know, yeah, they make shortcuts from one to the other in certain situations, but still, like if you want to go from the docks on your ranch to the fucking cave, it's going to take a minute of running and platforming or whatever. Which is just kind of annoying.
See, I always did a teleporter. So I would have a teleporter inside my cave, and then I had a teleporter in the grotto. So that way, if I ever just like zipped on over, because with my OCD, what I do with the teleporters is they give you so many colors of teleporters that I would color code them. So I would use the green teleporter to take me to the moss blanket, and so on and so forth. I would use like the butterscotch one, I think it was, to get to the glass desert.
That makes sense. I mean, like it's definitely a game that I could recommend to people if they're looking for, you know, a casual kind of like cozy farming, ranching, exploration, adventure experience. By no means was it a bad game,
right?
You know, and I definitely like I can comfortably say this one probably not for me. You know, it's not to say I didn't enjoy my time with it at all. I just I don't know. There were certain features that I was not crazy about because, like we discussed a few times here, it's like we just have different play styles, different things that we enjoyed about it. Some things that stressed me out, you loved. Some things that I loved probably stressed you out. Whatever. So it's just different strokes for different folks. But
Yeah.
yeah. By no means is it a bad game. It's a fun game, but do you want to
I'll
put a
definitely
rating on
get
this
it.
thing or get out of here, or you want to? Do you have anything else you want to decide?
No, I think we pretty much covered all the bases. I absolutely love this game. I get the itch to play it again, and like I said, I'll do a speed run. So like I'll start the game, and I'll just get all of my slimes, and I'll focus strictly on money. One thing that I didn't know that my best friend had to tell me was take food with you out when you're exploring because you can collect more plorts that way.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like if you just go right off your ranch and you get into the first area there, it's got all the pink slimes, and you
Yeah.
get like one or two carrot patches and you get a pogo tree. Just collect the fruit and then just feed it to the slimes right then and there, and then you can collect all those pink plorts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Um,
never would have thought of that, and I told my friend one day I was like, I'm having so hard of a time trying to get money because like I want to unlock all the places on my farm because my OCD. I just want to get everything organized. And she was like, well, why aren't you doing this? And I was like, because I didn't think about it.
yeah, it's just kind of one of those like when in Rome activities. Like typically they'll have any kind of food that the native plort or the native slime of that area would eat. So it's like if I'm running out, you know, and I'm in the crystal area, like they'll have, you know, heartbeats or whatever the fuck like laying around. So I'll just take that, feed it to them, and whatever. That's how I
Yep.
was just doing that to get the plorts to bring back to my farm or my ranch to, you know, grow or combine my slimes.
Yeah. Yep,
Um,
exactly. You collect like 25, 50 of them, you sell 49, you feed the last one to
yeah,
one on your farm, and then you just make them give you more. And yeah.
yeah, just grow from there. There was something else I was gonna say. Can't remember what it was. Must not be that important. um, yeah. So what should we rate this game out of? We can do it out of
Well,
10, or we can do it out of something fun.
I'll leave that one up to you, Mr. Host.
Oh no, I always give that honor to the guests. And you know a hell of a lot more about this game than I do. So like we could do it out of how many different types of slimes there are, or whatever. We could just do it out of 10. It's your call.
Well, if we were doing out of slimes, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 slimes that you could have on your ranch. So 1 out
Bam.
of 16, I guess.
All right, that works for me. So out of 1 out of 16, what would you give this game?
For me, it's a solid 13, 14. Because when that itch comes through and I want to play it and I rush through it, it's so satisfying to me.
Hell yeah. That's a solid score. That's like a 90%. That's
Yes.
oh boy. That is not what I'm gonna give it. But no, I mean, like I said, I did enjoy this game. It was a fun, casual experience to kind of, you know, sit back, maybe watch a TV show or something while you're playing it, and you know, especially if you're not paying that close of attention to the stories or anything like that. But I'm probably gonna give this game like a 9 out of 16. Um, like a 55% because
Yeah.
it was fun. I like the visuals. I like the gameplay. It's got tight controls. It sounds great. It looks great. You know, and this game came out close to 10 years ago, I think. Um,
I can actually look that up.
because this is 2025 now, like end of 2025. We're making this episode, so I want to say it came out in like 2017 or something like that. 18 maybe.
Oh, my phone's freaking out. There we go. It came out. Yeah, 2016.
Oh, okay, shit, yeah, okay. Um, but yeah, no, it's a solid game. I would recommend it to anybody who enjoys, you know, casual like adventure farming style games. Just
A
you know,
casual grind.
Definitely a grind. Yeah. Yeah. And there's people out there who love that kind of stuff. So should I still play RuneScape? But but yeah, all right. Solid episode. And then thank you very much for hanging out. Do you have anything that you would like to plug? Any pages, any projects, anything that you're doing on the side?
No, not really. I guess I'll just suggest Slime Rancher 2 to anybody who loves Slime Rancher 1.
Hell yeah. And I think those games are available on pretty much any platform nowadays, except for your phone. But all right. Well, thank you everybody for coming to this episode, listening to this episode. If you like what you heard, please go give me a follow over on my new Instagram page at TPC_TopPopCulture. This will be the last episode of the Bards of Gaming, first episode of Top Pop Culture. I am changing the format, kind of, sort of, not really, but I'm changing the platform. So if you enjoyed this episode, please do me a huge favor, leave a like, leave a comment, follow, subscribe wherever you're listening, and catch me on the next one. Thanks so much. Have a good night.
And if you ever want me to come back, make sure you say it.
Yeah, definitely let me know in the comments if you enjoyed Casey as a co-host, as a guest on the episode, and we still have more games planned to do together. So thanks again, Casey.
Anytime. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, anytime.
Oh, please don't say that you'll go. My heart can't bear the news. Just knowing that you'll be 1,000 light years away.